Welcome to the video tutorials of the book Methods, Evaluation and Research in Education by Aktaruzzaman. And today we're going to learn how to perform data analysis in Microsoft Excel. And it contains two parts. Part 1 is basic uses of Microsoft Excel in data analysis. And part 2 is complex practical example of Microsoft Excel. Let's start with part 1. MS Excel is a commercial spreadsheet application written and distributed by Microsoft Corporation, USA. It has the basic features of all spreadsheets using a grid of cells arranged in numbered rows and lettered name columns to organize data manipulations. It has a battery of supplied functions to answer statistical, engineering, and financial needs. In addition, it can display data as line graphs, histograms, and charts, and with a very limited three-dimensional graphics. It is to be noted that in MS Excel there is no data coding like declaration of variables, which is mandatory in SPSS. The MS Excel is much easier than SPSS. Let's see some practical uses of MS Excel. Suppose that a group of 3 students are tested by 4 quizzes in a particular course. We have to calculate the total marks, mean, and best 3 or 4 quizzes for each student of the group. Open the file named Basics of MS Excel 1 from the data file and see the data of 3 students for 4 separate quizzes at the screen. Entering data here in MS Excel is very easy. Just click the cell and then write whatever you want. Each of the rectangular boxes is called a cell, which is denoted by the corresponding column and then row. For example, the highlighted cell can be denoted as F2 as it is in column F and row 2. Please do not forget to press enter after writing any formula, and also do not forget to start a formula with an equal sign in MS Excel. Use the escape key to stop the rectangular movement around the cell and other hazards in Excel. Now, to calculate the total marks for Tamzeed, click the F2 cell, put an equal sign, which is must at the beginning of a formula, and then write the formula sum B2 is to E2 in the function box Fx above the column. However, you can do this by selecting the cell F2 and then clicking the sum at the upper right corner. Now, if you want to calculate the total marks for Jahan and Hassan, select the cell F2, copy it, and then again select F3 and F4, and then paste it. No need to write formula again for each cell. To calculate the average marks for Tamzeed, click the G2 cell, put an equal sign, and then enter the formula average P2 is to E2 in the function box Fx above the column. Just put it, press enter. However, you can do this by selecting the cell G2 and then clicking the average at the upper right corner. Now, if you want to calculate the average marks for Jahan and Hassan, select the cell G2, copy it, and then again select G3 and G4 and paste in it. There are some built-in functions like sum, average, max, minimum, count, etc. in MS Excel. You may get those formulas in detail by clicking Formulas menu and then Insert Functions at the left. To calculate the best 3 quizzes out of 4, the formula is bit logical and a combination of 2 functions. Just calculate the total marks of the quizzes and deduct the minimum 1 from the total. Then you may get the best 3 quizzes out of 4. Based on the logic, the formula is sum B2 is to E2 minus minimum B2 is to E2, which is to be written in the function Fx box after selecting H2 cell, and then copy H2 cell and paste it in H3 and H4. Yeah, just paste it. That's done. Another way you can do the above calculations is first compute the total, mean and best 3 out of 4 for Tamzeed in cell F2, G2 and H2 respectively. Then copy all these 3 cells and now again select F3, G3, H3, F4, G4, H4 together and paste which is copied earlier. Suppose the students of a university are given the internet facility 8 hours and pocket allowance 2500 taka per month. If the students use internet more than 8 hours, they have to pay 25 taka per hour and it will be deducted from their pocket allowance. Considering this scenario, we have to calculate the extra hours of internet usage and their revised pocket allowance. Open the data file named Basics of MS Excel 2 and see the data of 7 students for internet usage at the screen. Now, to calculate the extra hours of internet usage for Tamzeed Hassan, click the C2 cell, put an equal sign, and then enter the formula in the function fx box above. The logic for deriving the formula to calculate extra hours in this case is if the internet usage is more than 8 hours, then extra hours is the deduction of 8 from the internet usage, otherwise set 0 for extra hours. So the formula for C2 cell in the function box stands if B2 greater than 8, then B2 minus 8, 0. 0. Now press enter and then copy the cell C2 and then select C3, C4, C5, C6, C7 and finally paste which is copied. Paste it. It's done. Now to calculate the revised pocket allowance for Tamzeed Hassan, click the D2 cell, put an equal sign, and then enter the formula in the function fx above. The logic for deriving the formula to calculate the revised pocket allowance is if the students have extra hours of internet usage, then the revised pocket allowance is the deduction of extra hours multiplied by 25 from the actual pocket allowance, which is 2500 taka per student. So, the formula for D2 cell in the function box stands 2500 minus C2 multiplied by 25. 25. Now press enter, then copy cell D2 and select D3, D4, D5, D6, D7 and finally paste which is copied. Another way you can do the above calculations is by first compute the extra hours and revise pocket allowance for Tamzeed in cell C2 and D2 respectively. Then copy these 2 cells and now again select C3 to C7, D3 to D7 together and paste which is copied earlier. So, for the last couple of minutes, we have seen 2 practical usage of Microsoft Excel. I think you have observed that we are going from simple to complex examples. We will learn another interesting but little bit complex example of MS Excel in part 2 of the tutorial 9. Thank you for staying with us. It's Yasdani saying you goodbye.